intel just dropped on the Bandit, which is a rare unit in Squad Busters that will be 100% free to play obtainable if you play your way through a bunch of games. So in this video, we're going to review exactly how the Bandit works. We'll talk about where the Bandit will be best suited to be drafted, and we'll talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this unit, because although it is strong in a lot of situations, it does have a few downfalls, and we'll talk about those. Of course, you can use the timestamps to jump to whichever part of the video you're interested in. Consider subscribing for more Squad Busters news as soon as it drops, and let's get after it. The Bandit, what does it do? It's a supplier and it gives you gems. When you summon it, if you have the baby version, you'll get 7 gems. Hey, 7 gems when summoned ain't bad, especially when you start to think about game modes like Doppelganger, baby. But then, at 2 stars, it will give you 1 gem when busting big monsters. Now, big monsters includes things like battle bots, those goblins that kind of run around the map, the bigger muscular ones, those guys. Yeah, you get 1 gem when busting those monsters, okay? And you get 10 gems when summoned instead of 7 when you get to the 3-star evolution. Now, this is as far as most people will get in a short window of time, let's be honest, okay? So 3 stars is the goal for most people, 10 gems when summoned, plus 1 gem when you bust big monsters. But if you do get to 4 stars, then you get 2 gems when busting big monsters, which, look, it might not sound like a lot, except big monsters now spawn more frequently, right, as of this patch. And you have to keep in mind that in game modes with low quantities of gems, and the fact that you can get multiple of these bandits, that is going to really stack up in an extremely meaningful way. Now we need to look at the Bandit stats, but before I do, let me just give a big shout out to Full Frontage. Full Frontage is the creator who I've been following that has access to these dev builds. All the link down below for his channel. You should definitely go check him out and subscribe as well. A big thank you to Full Frontage for giving me permission to react to his videos. So the Bandit stats, 180 DPS, and 1400 hit points. That's pretty good. What can we compare that to get a good feel? Well, as it turns out, this is shockingly similar to your boy the Goblin. The Goblin has 170 DPS compared to the Bandit 180, and 1300 hit points compared to the Bandit 1400. I guess he's technically lower DPS and lower hit points, but he is a common unit. I mean, he's got a sweet ninja outfit, but he's a common unit compared to the Bandit being a rare unit. Is what it is. The Bandit has slightly more DPS and hit points than your Goblin, okay? But they both operate the same way. They're both going to be troops that charge into the front line. They're both going to be troops that are a little bit squishy compared to alternatives. Now, compare this to a trader. A trader is also a supplier, has 100 DPS, so way less DPS, and has 1600 hit points. Traders are actually kind of chunky, they are survivable. So I don't think it's really fair to compare them to a trader in terms of understanding how the Bandit will perform, but it is interesting to note that they'll be a slightly more combat-oriented troop if you have them in your squad. In addition, when we look at other rare units, we could look at a Penny. A Penny is way more DPS and less health. You're looking at 230 DPS and 1300 health. The final unit we could go and compare to would be like a Hog Rider. Hog Rider has 150 DPS and 1500 hit points. When fused, you're looking at, for some reason, 369 DPS. What a weird number to land on. And 4,900 hit points for your Bandit. Compared to the Goblin, which I think it just continues to be the best comparison point, you're looking at 340 DPS and 4,550 hit points. So very similar. Now, in terms of unlock, you can pay 140,000 coins to instantly unlock this unit. However, I believe that the number of coins you can pay to unlock it on the spot does get reduced based on your participating in the event. And the free-to-play way to unlock this character is to collect 100 gems in a single match. That will get you a gem pouch. Now, I don't know if you can earn multiple gem pouches per match, but if you can't, you're looking at 140 games minimum, which is at least 9.5 hours of grinding over like the 1 week or so that the event is listed as lasting, at least in the test server. We don't know if this is going to be the final form of how long the event lasts. I think it is, though. Didn't they say it's a week? Leave a comment down below. But if you can get multiple gem pouches per match, this is going to go way faster. And it's kind of funny, like, you need the Bandit, to get gems, and you need gems to get the bandit unlock. Wait a minute. I guess you'll just use suppliers you've already got in your arsenal, like the trader, to really rush getting lots of gems. Now, with that said, 7 days, if that is an accurate duration, is going to be, I think, an abundance of time to get this done. Way better than, like, what is it, a day and a half or 2 days to get a spell? I don't remember the exact duration. I unlocked my spells a long time ago. But let's get to the point here. Will the bandit actually be good? I think the bandit is going to shine in game modes that have low gem counts, just like a trader would. Okay? I think the bandit is more of a combat-oriented troop than the trader, but it's still only as combat-oriented as a goblin. So it's really not a proper combat troop. And if you think about it as a frontlining combat troop, you are going to be sorely disappointed. This does a fraction of what your barbarian is going to bring, because barbarian, as you know from my dedicated video, when it flips elite, you get a astonishing DPS boost. And the barbarian just got a buff for health. And by the way, God, if you have the 4-star unlocked, it does crazy damage as well. It's like a 35% attack speed boost after you kill something. So this is not a proper combat troop like a barbarian, but it is still a frontline troop that will rush up to your enemies, making them super vulnerable to attack. This means you will need other tanky frontline units to keep your bandits safe. In addition, you'll need ways to keep her alive and recovering, such as a medic or a battle healer. Medic works in terms of healing while you're actively fighting, although it's a slow heal. And the battle healer will work really well to just elevate the overall HP pool of your bandit, so it's less likely to get popped when it rushes forward, which it will do. Now, the bandit will have very good synergy with the best finishing unit in the game. That's the Barbarian King. The Barbarian King makes it so that damage dealers like the bandit, it's all your close combat folks, get an attack speed boost, which is sweet. But also, the BK is the best finisher in the game. It's disgusting, especially when you get the ultimate, or I guess ultra tier, 4-star version gives you that super rage spell. It's disgusting. I'll have a card in the end screen in a minute for yesterday's video if you want to see exactly how disgusting that is. Now, I do think the bandit is likely to be an ideal mid-game draft pick. In a game mode with extremely low gems, it could definitely work as a top-off to gain rank as well at the very end, similar to like how you use Penny to get a treasure map, except you don't have to go hunt down the map. You'll just get your 10 gems right away. So Penny would give you more, Bandit would give you an immediate result if you need that at the very end of the match. But I do feel like Bandit could actually be more viable than I'd anticipated as an earlier pick, as long as you've got some other front line, ideally, to keep her safe. I'm not saying go pick an El Primo. I'm just saying if you leave Bandit as your front line for too long, I think you will run into some problems. And of course, in case this wasn't obvious, Bandit is going to be insane in the Doppelganger game mode, where you switch to a Bandit, get a bunch of gems off rip, then switch to something else, and that's also amazing. Alternatively, a part of the way that I've been doing doppelgangers more and more in versions where you can't just like run back and forth with a Goblin Trader combo is that I'll rush toward the middle and I'll switch back and forth between semi-combat oriented marches. I'll take out a PvE objective here or there, bust a few monsters in between chests, but generally like rushing back and forth between those chests. And I do think that you have enough punch on a bandit not to go fight other players, but to go take out a few monsters. And then just like you would with a goblin, okay? And then grab another chest, switch to something else. So, you'd grab the chest, battle a monster, grab another chest, battle a monster, grab another chest, as opposed to the Goblin Trader meta, where it's literally chest to chest to chest to chest to chest, hoping that you get gold into gems, all right? All in all, the Bandit is looking like a sweet unit. And if you want to see me max the Bandit really quickly after it lands in game, subscribe to the channel.